WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, we've got Kelsey Bentledge. And Kelsey is a registered dietitian and nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. Kelsey, it is great to see you here in studio today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Grayson?
And I don't, it's just very nice to see you here today. And for you, Kelsey, we'll keep everything else between us here. But yes, I'm so happy to have you here today. And you've got a lot to talk about with fall being here. And does it not feel like fall is here as of this morning?
It does. It's brisk outside. And the fog, it was feeling spooky this morning.
It was feeling a little, I'm not so sure I'm ready for fall, but it is here. And families are busier than ever. And you know just as much about that as anybody. What are some one-pot meals that you're wanting to share with the folks today?
Yeah, so we have a lot of one-pot meal recipes and ideas on the slate for this month. Now that it's getting warmer outside, that seems to sound a little bit better to people. But I know with people back to school, their sports, football games, work, meetings, and then the farmers are in the field too. So things are just busier than ever. I know my farmer, he leaves before we wake up and comes back before or after we've already gone to bed. So it's just a really busy time. So coming up with ways that we can simplify things and make it easier for everyone around with these one pot meals.
Super easy one pot meals. I like the sound of that, not only for the cleanup after two, because I'm not a big dish into those one pot meals. I'm sure it's pretty easy, but how might we do so?
Brings both flavor and nutrition to the plate. So milk, cheese, and yogurt can add creaminess, richness. They also provide high quality protein that supports growth and repair of those muscles. They also have calcium and vitamin D for bone health, and potassium too to help with our blood pressure. But studies really show that people who include dairy in their diets have better overall nutrient intake than those who don't. So making sure that we're figuring out ways to include them, whether it's 1 cup of milk just as a glass of milk, or you're adding that cup of milk into a soup or a casserole, or adding cheese on top of a dish, just to make sure we're getting all of that good nutrition that dairy has to offer into our diet in some way throughout the day.
Now, help me out with that if you would. Studies show that people who include dairy in their diets have better overall nutrient intake compared to those who don't. So we're talking all nutrients across the board.
Yep.
If you're consuming that proper amount of dairy.
Yes, and that's because of the nutrient profile that's in dairy. So there's 13 essential nutrients that milk provides, but it's also because dairy pairs so well with other nutrient-dense foods. So, for example, the milk paired with a cereal, for a high fiber cereal, well, that's getting a ton of fiber as well as iron and other things into your diet as well. Or it's the yogurt parfait that has fruit and granola included. So just dairy itself has this strong nutrient profile, but once you pair it with the other foods as well, you're just really boosting the nutrition and getting a great amount of nutrients into your diet.
Okay, well, that checks out with me, but to actually hear it for the first time, I guess, in that regard, or put that way, we talk dairy and we talk that obviously there's so many nutrients in dairy products, but to hear that part, that it improves your nutrient intake overall is pretty impressive. Now, can you share an example with us of a one pot meal that we could find on the website?
Yeah, so this month we have a white chicken chili on the menu. I actually have this on my meal plan menu this week. It's delicious. It uses shredded chicken for protein, white beans. Those add fiber to the mix and a ton of nutrients. Green chilies that adds a little bit of a spicy flavor, and then Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt, all of the calcium, vitamin D, and the dairy provides, and then some additional protein too to keep you full and really nourish your bodies in this busy season. So Greek yogurt can a lot of times be used as a substitute for mayonnaise. So if people are making things like chicken salad or egg salad or pasta salads that are mayonnaise based, maybe swap it out for Greek yogurt. It's a lot more protein. It adds a kind of a tangy flavor to the mix. So those are just some little tips and tricks for making your meals healthier.
little idea on how to do so. Now, this white chicken chili sounds fantastic, but we were talking about being busy. And how long does it take for a busy family?
Yes, yeah. So that's the most important part. Well, it's kind of like it's one pot recipe. So it's kind of you dump it together. It takes about 30 minutes from start to finish to cook. So it's quick enough for a weeknight, which is so important to get home. It's just such a hustle. The ingredients to prep ahead of time is just getting shredded chicken. So whether you're cooking that chicken yourself and then shredding it, or just picking up a rotisserie chicken and then shredding it for that recipe, that's the big, prep part of this recipe. The rest you just kind of throw in together and cook for 30 minutes, but it's just perfect for those nights when everyone's just running in different directions with sports or meetings, different things like that. And it's warm. It kind of is one of those comfort recipes that is good for the soul whenever the weather starts to turn, like it seems to have done this week.
It definitely seems to have. And we just had Chili Fest here in Taylorville this last weekend. It was like 85 during the day. And
oh, that's not the right weather.
That is not the right weather for chili. Good chili, but it's just not the right weather for it. So this time around, now it's cooling off. Very much so in the late evening, especially. And so a chili recipe is certainly going to hit the spot a little different than it did even just a couple days ago. So for you, Kelsey, let's take ourselves a break. We'll come back with you and we'll talk more about, meal planning and getting yourself prepared during this busy fall season with the St. Louis Dairy Council's help. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and we'll be right back with more in just one moment.
WTIM.
Can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
Does your bank offer rewards on qualified signature-based debit card purchases? If not, then we need to talk. Hi, my name is Mason Crow with People's Bank and Trust. Join the growing number of our customers who are earning cash back on all qualifying debit card purchases. You already use your debit card. Now make it work for you with Save by Spending rewards from People's Bank and Trust. Call 888-PBT 1954 and find out more about our Save by Spending rewards program. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The weather may be warm, but you know what's coming. Yes, winter and all the cold wind and snow. Don't spend another winter shoveling snow. Get on the waiting list now at Taylorville Estates Assisted Living at 705 South Houston. Reserve your slot so that when one is available, you don't have to fight old man winter. Stop by and visit with Administrator Tony Clark or give them a call for an appointment at 824-2222. Taylorville Estates Assisted Living, encouraging independence, enriching lives.
Here's an important reminder from the Christian County Health Department at 730 North Pawnee in Taylorville. October 15th is the deadline for your children to have their required immunizations to attend school this fall. Don't wait until the last minute to book your appointment for children entering kindergarten, 6th, 11th, or 12th grade at little or no cost. And while you're there, ask about fluoride treatments to help prevent tooth decay in children and youth. Remember that October 15th deadline and make your appointment now with the Christian County Health Department by calling 824-4113, 824-4113.
This is Megan Lopez with Nesty's Burger Joint on the south side of the Taylorville Square. To see our menu, click on our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Shawlis Nagel, Executive Director at Kimmer Village in Assumption. To learn more about our services, click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment, we've got Kelsey Bentledge. Kelsey is a registered dietitian and nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. We were talking about that white chicken chili and how busy the fall season is and how to make it easier with one-pot recipes you can find at their website. Well, what about meal planning for those one-pot meals or those meals that make it just a little easier on us? What can you tell us about meal planning?
Yeah, so meal planning is just being organized and getting ahead of the curve. So whether it's doubling your white chicken chili recipe or if you're making, a casserole dish, I know I love to make like a feta pasta bake, maybe making 2 and freezing 1, things like that to just get ahead of the curve. Also, making sure that you're getting organized in advance. So if you go to store on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever day you go to the store, picking up all the ingredients that you'll need to get through a week, 2 weeks, however often you go to the store, and have an actual meal plan in advance. I know it helps our family a lot. I make breakfast sandwiches in advance. A slice of cheese adds that dairy nutrition, an egg, maybe a slice of ham on it, and an English muffin, and I put them in the freezer. And so they're ready to go whenever we need them, and just pull them out, put them in the microwave, and head out the door. So whatever it looks like for your family, maybe it's a smoothie before you take it out the door, or whatever works. But getting ahead and getting organized is the best way to stay on top of eating really healthy, nutritious foods rather than, picking up something on the go, which I can be guilty of too.
Well, and I appreciate you being at least a little honest with us. What about, so we consider the main portion of our meal, right? It could be a beef product or whatever the case might be. But what about getting dairy and some of those side dishes? Do you have any recommendations on that end?
Yeah, there's so many ways that you can squeeze in dairy. I mean, my favorite recommendation is broccoli doesn't taste good without cheese. Adding some cheddar cheese to your vegetables, or maybe doing like Greek yogurt or sour cream on your tacos, just to add some dairy and some nutrition alongside your regular dishes too. So there's lots of ways to squeeze dairy into a side dish. Or if you're coming up short in the dairy department, we recommend, but also the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends 3 servings of dairy every single day to make sure you're topped up on calcium and all the other nutrients it provides. So if you're falling short on that, you can always just have a glass of milk or a chocolate milk or a hot chocolate too to end your night to get in that dairy.
Thankfully growing up, my mom always made us have a glass of milk with dinner, always. And now it's like a must have. So just ingrain it in your kids early, and then they will continue to do that in their adult life as well. For us here today, obviously it's kind of nice to always summarize it just a touch. What's that big takeaway that you want families to also take with them from this?
Yeah. So just the more you can cook at home, and the more you can spend time eating as a family, the better nutrients your kids are going to get, and you are going to get as well. So one pot meals are really just very convenient. Like you said, less dishes, more nutrition. So they make it easier for families to just gather around the table, enjoy food together, and then just support a healthier eating environment for all those involved. So get ahead of the curve, make a one-pot meal. It's very easy to clean up, and then you'll have leftovers for the rest of the week too to get through.
And you will feel a lot better probably than your stop at a drive-through on your way home. That's almost a guarantee. Well, for us here today, Kelsey, where can we go to just get all this information, or what else is the St. Louis Dairy Council up to this fall with about a minute to go?
Yeah, we have a ton of things going on this fall, but we have we're going to Adopt a Calf classrooms. That's our flagship program where school classrooms adopt a calf. We're going into schools doing family and consumer science presentations and really working in schools this fall now that they're back in session. But if you want to keep up with what we're doing, we post it on Facebook and Instagram at stldairycouncil.org. And if you want that one pot recipe for white chicken chili, that is also on our website at www.stldairycouncil.org.
Kelsey, thank you so much for being here with us. You were missed. And Monica did a great job with us, but to see you in studio here today has been wonderful. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is Kelsey Bentledge joining us. And Kelsey is a registered dietitian and nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. Our WTIM morning show is brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. And we'll be back with more in just one moment.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville.
96.1 FM Taylorville.
107.5 FM Shelbyville.
107.9 FM Pina Nokomis.
Breaking news this